When one community held their multicultural conversation with candidates for mayor in August of 2010, future Mayor Greg Stanton summed up his support for the LGBT community very succinctly, very simply, and really kind of matter-of-factly. He just said 4 simple words: I believe in equality. Please join me in welcoming Mayor Greg Stanton.
All right. Thank you, thank you. How nice, my goodness. I'll support equality more often. I'll get a reaction like that. That's beautiful. Well, what an honor it is for me to be here at this very special lunch in one community. I so much, as mayor of the city, I so much appreciate the incredible work that this organization does. Angela, you and your team, you make a great difference in our city. You make us a better city. You make us a stronger economic city. Let's give Angela and one community another big round of applause. And I know we're here to celebrate some great champions that just received their awards. As mayor of the city, I want to also say thank you for the great leadership that those individuals have shown. I particularly want to say thank you to Hospice of the Valley. You treated my mom so well. She passed. She's in heaven right now, but she passed in February. But Hospice of the Valley, you treated her so incredibly well. The entire Stanton family says thank you for what you do for people of this community. And I think they were acknowledged earlier, but what an incredible couple. Karen Bailey and Nelda Majors, 54 years together. That's accurate? Well, let's acknowledge them in the way that a couple that is able to stay together 54 years deserves to be acknowledged. I'm just happy my wife has stayed with me for 7 years. We got a long ways to go, my goodness. And speaking of my wife, Nicole, I ran in late, so I see you. You know, Angela, you and this organization have partnered with Nicole on an incredibly important endeavor. Everyone in this room knows that my wife, Nicole, has stepped up to the plate and has taken an incredible leadership role, taken a stand against bullying in schools. And I can't leave. Oh, yeah, please. Yep. This simply cannot be the city that we all want it to be. I can't lead the city that I want to lead. We can't achieve our goals of our city if young people can't go to school in an environment free of harassment, intimidation, or even potential violence. And there's still a long way to go. We still need laws that give additional support to our schools, additional support to parents, and most importantly, support for our students. And Angela, I know you have partnered with Nicole to make that happen. She's going to be spending a lot of time down at the state legislature this year to pass a law to give those protections that are needed. So my assignment moving forward for everyone in this room is when there is a call to action next legislative session, and there will be, each one of you need to answer that call and contact your legislature and say, no more. It's time for us to have the right kind of education environment, free of intimidation, harassment, and violence. And Nicole, I'm so very proud of you for what you're doing. You are making this a better city. And I got to acknowledge one other person, if that's all right. I've got an incredibly good staff. If you think we're doing a good job in the mayor's office, it's only because I've put together an awesome team. And they work about, 18 to 20 hours a day. But the hardest working guy among them is right here, Brendan Mahoney. Brendan, I really appreciate all you are doing. Brendan, among other things, you read about Frank Lloyd Wright House, that's Brendan. Any of the toughest assignments that I've got, it goes to Brendan. And he is also He's a very successful attorney. He is combing through every ordinance at the city, and we are committed to make sure that every one of our ordinances, because if we're going to be a diverse city that supports the LGBT community, we got to look in the mirror and make sure that we're doing everything that we can be doing, that our laws support the diverse communities in our city, and that every law that we have is equal when it comes to the LGBT community. So Brendan, you've got that assignment, and we're going to get that done, and I so much appreciate what you are doing. It deserves an applause. We're going to get there. Look, the bottom line is this. Everyone in this room is here because you believe in this organization, you believe in Angela and her team, you believe that we can only be great if we support everyone. There are no throwaway people. All of us need to be part of the solution. This concept of diversity that some people think is a soft concept, a touchy-feely concept, the people in this room know. Supporting the diverse communities in our city, in our state, it is not a nice thing. It's a necessary thing if we're going to compete in this increasingly difficult, challenging global economy. Look, I spend more time as mayor of the city by far than anything else working with our local employers and trying to recruit new employers, new people to come to this community. And I can promise you that how we do on this issue, the issue that the people in this room believe in, that you fight for, the reasons why these people got this incredible awards, supporting all of the people of this community, how well we do in that regard is incredibly important to the choices that the right entrepreneurs, the right companies make. When they choose a location, they want to come to a location that believes in its people. Being pro-people is pro-business. And that's the reason why I am so glad to be here at this particular event. Look, I watched the debate earlier this week, just like you did. Arizona was mentioned a few times in that debate, wasn't it? And it was mentioned because, unfortunately, too often Arizona is shorthand for not supporting the diverse communities that exist within our state. Unfortunately, Arizona is still shorthand for too often being perceived as being a divisive place, particularly as it relates to our Latino brothers and sisters in our community. We got some work to do in this city. I'm committed to doing that work. I know you're committed to doing that work. I believe we've turned the page. The business community stepped up to the plate in the last legislative session and told those legislators, when it comes to passing that divisive legislation that tries to separate us, told them to knock it off because it's bad for business and leaves a false impression around the country that this is a community that doesn't support the people and support the diversity that lies within us. Focus in on jobs, focus in on economic development, focus in on education, the real priorities of the people of this community. And of course, the gentleman who was the mastermind of all those divisive legislation was recalled and then tried to run again, and he lost his attempt to get election. I believe that we're at a unique moment. It's a turn-the-page moment for this community. And right now, we need to work harder than ever to get it right. We need to support marriage equality. Of course I support equality. Is there any other thing that sends a message of who we are as a community? We need to support. Thank you. It's time that we stand up and support our Latino brothers and sisters and say it's time to pass comprehensive immigration reform. Let's pass the DREAM Act and support the young people that exist within our community. We can increase trade and the economic opportunity that goes along with it if we improve our relationship with Mexico. We've got a long ways to go, but I just think there is a moment in time. There's a moment in time where we're saying as a society that bullying is not acceptable in our schools, and it's a time right now in our community and society that we're saying that divisiveness is bad for business. And I was just in Washington the last few days, meeting with a lot of association executives who may have sort of decided maybe not to come to Arizona because of the perception that we're divisive. And I said, give us another look. There are great things going on in our community. We've turned the page politically. I'm an optimist, and I believe that this is a community that is going to get it right. Pro-people is pro-business. Divisiveness is bad for business. That's why I believe in Angela, the work of this organization. And as mayor of the city, I'm going to look to partner with you every single time I can. Thank you for letting me be part of today's luncheon.